What's up, goodies? Welcome back to my channel and to my kitchen, How to Cook. And today we are making honey chicken thighs in the kitchen, fast, easy, and simple. Make sure you subscribe, goodie, if you have not, and turn on the post notifications so you won't miss any other upload. And for all I'm returning goodie, una don't know say una girl love una ready for cook. Come on, let's cook. Alright, goodie, you ready for cook? Let's cook. Alright, so we have our chicken thighs here, boneless chicken thighs that has been washed with salt, lemon juice, and vinegar. You're going to go ahead and get some of that excess amount of water off that might have been left back when you cleaned your chicken. Make sure that you clean your chicken really well, and I did remove the chicken skin from my chicken thighs. Okay, now for this recipe you could use chicken breasts if you like, but today we are choosing to use the boneless chicken thighs. Now this is what you're going to do before you start seasoning. Just get a knife and just put little pokes of hole in the chicken thighs. What that is going to do is to allow the seasonings to go all through and through into the meat, and you will have an amazing flavor all through the meat when you are done with the recipe. So go ahead and do this. Please do not skip this step because this step is very critical for the recipe. Okay, so go ahead and do that. Now we are going to use simple seasoning that you may have in your home, seasonings like black pepper and salt. We're going to add a little bit of onion powder, garlic powder for sure. You also want to add some kind of a chicken seasoning or all-purpose seasoning. This is what I had here. I'm also going to use some of my Scotch bonnet powder. If you don't have that, you could use cayenne pepper or just hot pepper. Any kind of pepper you have, you use it. I did add some paprika, a little bit of dried parsley, and gave it a mix. Now, as far as my seasons are concerned, you could always change it up and use whatever kind of a season that you have in your home. It will work just fine. Now, after I did that, I went ahead and drizzled some oil on there. You could use any oil that you have. I did use corn oil to mine, and we're going to season. So I just went ahead and sprinkle some of the seasoning on top of the chicken, just like so, and then I turned it on the other side and repeat the same step, just like so. And y'all, I'm only cooking for 3, so that's what I have. So after you've done the first side, you do the second side, just like so. You want to leave back some of the seasoning for later because you're going to need it, right? Just go ahead and set that aside and gently pat the seasoning, just like so, into the chicken. Now, I did allow it to marinate for about half an hour. Just went ahead and wrap it with some plastic wrap and set it aside on the countertop and let it marinate. Now, if you want to do this overnight, you can do that. Put it in the refrigerator and let it sit overnight. It's going to taste nice and wicked. But just be sure that you take it out the refrigerator at least half an hour before you actually start cooking. You want it to get to a room temperature. Now, 30 minutes later, because I don't know, say the 30-minute girl, our chicken is looking excelente. Okay, Spanish, right? Okay, excelente. Okay, it looks pretty much like that. After it's looking like that, you want to go ahead and sprinkle some all-purpose flour on your chicken, just like so. All right, don't use self-rising flour, you guys. Use only all-purpose flour. And then after you have done that, you want to turn it on the opposite side, just like so. All right, and repeat the same step. Sprinkle the flour as you did the first part. All right, and that is it. Very simple. It's going to do something mean to the chicken, okay? Now, in a pot, we're adding some oil here, and my fire is turned on a medium heat. You don't want to put it on a high heat because you don't want to burn it. I did go ahead and add about 4 tablespoons of butter to the oil and allow it to melt. Just allow it to melt, goodie, before you put your chicken in there, okay? Just like so. speed up the process. Yeah. Now, after your oil and butter has combined and it looks pretty much like that, it's time to add your chicken pieces to the oil. And again, make sure that your fire is at a medium heat because you don't want to burn it. Burn the seasonings, that is, okay? So it looks pretty much like that. That side does take about, I'd say, 4 to 5 minutes. You're going to need that right there for later on, so you also put that aside. 4 to 5 minutes, you go back in and you turn the chicken on the other side. That is what it should look like within 4 to 5 minutes at a medium heat. Perfect, okay? Absolutely perfect. 4 to 5 minutes, you go back in and everything is done. Okay, just like so. Nice, beautiful golden brown. Now, you don't want to overcook this right here, okay? You want this to be nice and tender, so you go ahead and remove them from the heat. It should look pretty much like that. And it smells so good, y'all. Smells so good, so good. All right, so in that oil, we're going to go in and add some chopped garlic. You could add fresh garlic if you like, and give it a nice little spin in that oil. It's a lot of flavor, y'all. That's a lot of flavor right there, okay? And then after it caramelizes and looks like that, I did go in and add some bell pepper of all colors. I usually cut up my bell peppers and freeze them, so just to preserve it. So that's what we're doing here, adding some bell pepper to the mix. And then we're going to go in with some heavy whipping cream. And also you want to utilize that marinade that you had earlier with the flour and everything combination. That's all you need. It's going to thicken up the gravy and flavor, y'all. Flavor and flavor. You don't want to lose none of that. After you've combined all of that, you're going to go in with the remainder of your seasonings and pour it in also for extra additional flavor. And give it a good mix. Now be sure that your fire once again is at a medium heat. I am going to go in with just a little bit of the honey because, hey, we are cooking honey chicken, okay? And I have to say, I was a bit generous with my honey. So this is the one that I'm using here, all natural honey. You don't have to use that. Use whatever you have, all right? Honey or honey in my, in my mind, honey's honey. So go ahead and just add the honey to the mix like so. It's really going to give it a perfect divine flavor. I did go in with some spinach. And I added the spinach to the mix. If you like a lot of spinach, you could add more, but I didn't add too much. Just remember that spinach does shrink, okay? It shrinks all the way down. So add however much you like in your kitchen. Make it your own. All right, so after I've had the spinach, now it's time to combine all of that together. And again, my fire is at a medium heat. Well, actually, my fire probably was at a low to medium heat here, because I want this thing to steam and not cook too fast. As you could see how the spinach shrinks immediately. That's perfect. That's all I needed. And you could also see the difference with the gravy, you guys. It has thickened up really, really well. Perfect. Smells amazing. Looks amazing. Perfect. Okay. So now that we have achieved that, it is time to add the chicken back to the mix. So we have the chicken in just like so. You don't have to add any seasonings. If you don't want to add any seasonings, you don't have to add it. But for your taste buds, you could add if you like. And then I did go back in and add a little bit more of that good old-fashioned honey, because once again, we are cook honey chicken thighs, okay? So I covered it up and allowed it to cook for about 6, 7 to 10 minutes. That's all I needed, and that was that. Perfect, y'all. Look at that. Absolutely positively perfect. Of course, I had to put it on the plate, right? And I don't know what Juliana is already. She have to put it on the plate. I did make some yellow rice. I already have that recipe, so I didn't show you guys that again. But if you want me to share with you how I made my yellow rice, please comment down below. But that is your chicken. Smells so good, tastes divine, nice and tender. That gravy was graving. I love it. The flavor of the bell peppers and everything that I had, it really came together nicely. Goody, listen. If you enjoyed this recipe, go ahead and show some love simply by giving it a thumbs up. Tell a friend for tell a friend, goody. Bring them come and send them come, because why? I'm waiting. And when you get done doing all of that, tell me what you want to see me cook next in my kitchen. And remember, as always, from my kitchen to your kitchen, enjoy!